Wow, this is pretty impressive. Recruits to the San Francisco Police Department, let me take this opportunity to say thank you. And first of all, I want to acknowledge our acting chief, Toney Chaplin, to him, the command staff, the trainers here at the Academy for letting me address you. This is an historic time for our city and for all of you. But before I say that, I was told that this 5 classes is pretty diverse. And from where I'm standing, man, somebody said, Mayor, the kind of class kind of looks like you. I said, that can't be true. They all look taller. But I want to say that I am personally privileged to address you for a few moments this morning and to signal to you why this is an historic time in the city of San Francisco. Do you know, it's been 20 years since we had this many recruits in 5 classes together graduating at the same time. 20 years is a long time, right, Chief?
Very long time.
He's got 26 years, so he and I know that this city has struggled over many years to kind of fill the ranks, get to a charter-mandated 1,971 officers, and we're just a year and a half away from doing that. So I want you to appreciate that, because there's a lot of things that you're going to be doing with us. And I want to just take the opportunity to welcome all of you to the City and County of San Francisco Employment Force, our finest police department in the country, a department that is refining and improving itself all the time. And you are the key beneficiaries of the modern training, the 21st century police officer training and peace officer training that is overseen by the Department of Justice, compliant with President Obama's 21st century policing in the country. But you're still what I always will say I hold in high regard. You're going to be a member of the San Francisco Police Department. And this is something pretty special. I've been working for the city now for 28 years. And one of the reasons I stayed this long is because I discovered very quickly that I'm joining a workforce of over 30,000 people, from police officers to firefighters to health workers to youth violence prevention workers to human services workers to the people that run the airport and the port to public works to people who buy things like all your new equipment. And I've joined people who want this city to succeed in every way possible, who understand that the historic evolution of our city is one that is strong in its support for its diversity of ethnic backgrounds, of orientation backgrounds, who find a way to support each other, and that they all depend upon a good level of public safety in order to succeed. This is what is imposed upon you as the main obligation that you are taking up voluntarily in being part of these 5 historic classes coming together. And I want to say thank you for taking up this tremendous obligation, but also to understand that part of being in this historic moment is that we are changing what had been done in years past. And that training you're already going through. Part of that core training is the sanctity of life. That when you are called in to confront people in their challenging moments, that you are now being trained to make sure that we place life at the core value, the sanctity of life, the core value, everybody's life, including yours, as well as the people that you are engaged with. You're also being trained with new tools. Thanks to a historic agreement between the Police Officers Association, the Office of Citizen Complaints, the Police Commission, and the direct involvement of this chief and all of his command staff, you're all going to be part of the first classes of people that wear body cameras. Very new for officers in our police force to do so. A transparency that we believe will benefit everyone in the county of San Francisco, for residents to visitors to the people you engage with. You are also beneficiaries of modern training, particularly as we evolve in the core of the sanctity of life. You're going to be using all of your skill sets to confront and engage in situations where your thought is going to be, how can I de-escalate this and protect life for everyone? How can we help people out of their crisis without necessarily using the strongest legal force that we are schooled and trained to use? That de-escalation is extremely important. It is new training, it's modern training, but it's one that we truly as a city really invest in you and all the others that will get retrained that are also veterans of our police department. And I want to just say congratulations to everyone in this academy for embracing who you are and for getting you trained up. I also will do my job in equipping you with the most modern equipment, continue ongoing training when you call for it, and that you won't be alone. I'm going to keep adding classes until we are fulfilling our obligation to the public. And then, if you can do your job at the utmost, and I know you're already being exposed to what that is, but I want to emphasize some things that I think are important in your police officer role. In your education already, in your training, many of you, in fact most of you, have already been exposed to the implicit bias training. You're already being given cultural ways in which you can engage our youth. And right now, many of you have been engaged in the Boys and Girls Club. That's just the beginning. I would ask that all of you, when you become the full-fledged officers that you will be, to take upon yourselves an opportunity to continue that engagement in the communities of your choice that you feel passionate about, that reflects something that you strongly believe in San Francisco. Whether it's youth, whether it's small businesses, whether it's engagement in our education system or our nonviolence training, or in those groups of people that, and there are many that are trying to engage people coming out of our criminal justice system and reorienting themselves and giving them support, housing, health, all these other things you can do even in your spare time and continue your community engagement. I think the best officers that we have are those that know their communities that they serve in, know people by their first names, know who the leaders are, know who the youth leaders are, in addition to knowing who the criminals are. Because I'm about public safety in a very broad sense. I can't just ask you to do police enforcement work and think that public safety is accomplished in this city. I also have an obligation to make sure our youth have the opportunities and options that they have to grow healthy lives. I need a health department that can engage and intercede when people's health are failing. I need social service agencies. I need all those things that keep people good jobs in the city to make sure they're successful. The more we can do to support that, the more that public safety is going to be accomplished in this city. And finally, let me say this. A lot of things, and I'm sure you've read them, challenge all of us to be better civil servants, better officers, better professionals. Take the opportunity to remember what you've learned here and carry it with you every single day in these training classes, because it's not going to be easy. I know that, Chief Chaplin knows that, every officer here knows that, because over time, like in every bureaucracy, you get exposed to things, and you're going to be confronted with attitudes, hostile, maybe not too positive, and I need you to go back to the training that you've had. I also need you to uphold the professional standards that you are already instilling in yourselves. Never let others take you down to a path where you can't uphold that professional standard. I've learned it too, and I've had to retrain myself on many occasions, particularly when I was Director of Public Works. A lot of attitudes in these things that fester over time. And I ask you again that please remember these memorable times in your academy where you were trained, but also that we'll be there for additional training and support should you need it. Having said that, I want to personally welcome all of you. Some of you might be fortunate enough to be assigned to me. We'll have fun. But also, this is a great city. You are going to be joining a wonderful, wonderful city of people dedicated to success of this city. We're an international city. We're a city that loves our people, loves our diversity, and I want every officer to know, particularly you, in this historic time of just having a higher level of public safety officers in our department to go out in every single neighborhood. This is a part that I want to celebrate with you, and I want to remember as I see you grow in your jobs, and I've got a few more years in mine, that if you see a old little guy crossing the street one of these days in 5 years, help me across the street, okay? But I also say thank you right now, because you'll be asked and you'll be demanded and you'll be required to intercede into events that keep everybody safe. And I want you to know that I'm going to be working very hard with your POA and your management staff and the police commission to keep you safe, to give you everything from all the tools and all the training that you need to keep yourself safe, as well as others that you are sworn to protect. It's a historic time. You are fresh. I'm going to say congratulations again for joining me and so many thousands of other people to serve this city, and I'm gratified that I get to work with your acting chief chaplain and with the commission and a POA and the public employee groups that are proud to be part of this civil service sector of our public safety division. So thank you very much, and here's your chief.
I'll start off by saying it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. No, I'm kidding. I won't get philosophical on you guys. I'll leave that. You double timed it up here. I know everybody's a little tired right now. I sat here with members of my command staff, Deputy Chief Schmidt, Deputy Chief Sainez, and it's ironic that we're sitting here in June of 2016. We were here June of 1990, and I don't ever remember seeing a sea of folks in the academy like I'm watching right now, and we definitely didn't have members of Oakland Police sitting here too, getting the same training. I want to start off by saying the headlines and the news now, a lot of times you turn on the TV and you read the newspapers, a lot of bad things going on. And I'm going to tell you what a retired lieutenant told me when we were going through another controversy 2 decades ago. He said, just do your job. Just do your job. And I'm going to make this real simple. Most of you were, actually all of you were here when the former Chief Greg Sir was here, and he asked you on the very first day of the academy class, why did you take this job? And does anybody remember what the response was? That's it. Everybody said it to help people. And if you don't lose sight of that, you'll win every battle you fight. If you remember the core reason that you are here is to help people, you will never lose these battles. So with that said, I'm going to go over a few things I wanted to talk to you about, because this in many ways is a landmark group. It's been at least 20 years since we've had 5 classes in this academy at one time, and that's evidenced by the lack of parking outside. I had to park way down there on the end. I come up here every once in a while for various reasons, and I watch you guys marching around, and I'm proud because, you know, quite frankly, we need the help. We need bodies. We're understaffed, and we're trying to get those numbers up. And with the mayor standing here to my left, he's been instrumental in getting money and funding for all these academy classes, and there's more to come. So help is definitely on the way, but if I had my way, I'd get you out of here today. But you still have a few more months to go, some of you, and some of you maybe a few more weeks. The sea of faces here today reflects our community of diversity in our department, because I'm looking out here and this is diverse classes. I mean, this is fantastic, and this is what we strive to achieve when we recruit folks. We set half a class in the academy, the smallest class, one of the smallest classes we've had other than a regional class in a long time, because we're not just going to put anybody in these seats. We want to make sure that the right people are here. and I'm looking at the right people. And the mayor stole a lot of my thunder. He went over a lot of things I'm going to go over, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse and go over those things again. But I will say this: you guys are the most important thing we have in our arsenal going forward. Some of these companies and corporations here that fail, they fail because they forgot the most important thing that they had going for them, got in and out of the elevators or walked up and down those stairs every day, and that's the people that work for them, and that's you guys. You guys, when you leave this academy class and gals, you're going to be representing the San Francisco Police Department, and more importantly, you're going to be representing the city and county of San Francisco, or Oakland, as the case may be. Do not pay attention to those headlines. Get out there and do what you're taught in this academy class to do, and that is to help people. So when you look out and you look to your left and you look to your right and you see white, black, brown, yellow, whatever, understand that that's reflective of who you are out there to help and serve. The people that look like the folks that are sitting in this classroom today with you. I mean, you got a lot of help, you have a lot of support, you have a command staff that's going to stand behind you 100% when you do it the right way. And you're being taught here how to do it the right way. If you do not deviate from that path, you will be fine. The other benefit you have in this class is you're coming in at a time when the technology is evolving and changing into the 21st century of policing with body cameras. And don't let anybody fool you into thinking that this is something that's going to hurt you. These things are going to help you. And as the mayor said earlier, working in collaboration with all the different groups out there, the ACLU, the POA, who is going to be representing most of you, we're looking out for your interests because we want to make sure that when you do it right, that there's evidence and proof that you've done it right. And more importantly, that we're transparent, that the community knows you did it right. And part of that is getting the message out there that when we go out, we are here to help people, not hurt them. Sometimes that message gets a little muddied because we may not have the best information to give to the public. We may know it internally, but the way we get that out to them now is hopefully with the body cameras, we'll have the footage to show them that you are doing it right. Because 99% of the time, you are doing it right. People are out there every day recording us with cell phones on traffic stops, doing arrests. That's tens of thousands of hours of footage. You know why you don't see it on television? Because you're doing it right. Because trust me, if you're not, it will be aired on channels 2, 4, 5, 7, and 11. So you know most of the time folks are out there doing it right. All I ask of you as your chief, as your acting chief, is to get out there and keep doing it right. And remember the most important reason that you are here, and that is to help people. So with that in mind, I'm going to close and let you guys catch your breath from that long double time back up to the academy. Thank you.